Hello again. So today we're going to do the second in the series of my eating weeds video. I'm going to be looking at the little volunteers that pop up in the garden uninvited and see how useful they are, whether we can eat them or use them as medicines. I need to do my little disclaimer again and say I'm not a herbalist, nor am I a medical professional. All the information that I'm sharing today is from my own research and is based on traditional use. So you should research yourself if you're going to use any of these plants, and if you've got a medical condition, I have to advise you that you should seek medical advice before treating it yourself. Okay, let's get out there and see what we can find today. I don't know how well you can see these. These are wild pansy or violas, and people do actually buy these to add to the garden, but they do often appear as volunteers, as these did in this little patch here. These all appeared as volunteers, and that's actually quite valuable little resource as well. That's edible. You can add the flowers to salads and they look quite pretty. It's also very cleansing, good for skin conditions, and also good for respiratory problems, so coughs and colds and things like that. So a pretty little volunteer that I think we should encourage in the garden. And just by the little wild pansy there, we've got quite a lot of bittercress. And this is the bittercress, and the leaves are used in salads and they actually taste really nice. They've got vitamins and minerals that are quite good for us, and they will spread quite nicely all over your garden. But I don't mind. I do pick them and use them in salads, and why not? Free food. This is Herb Robert with a little pink flower, and the leaves look similar to the leaves from the parsley family, so you just need to be careful with this one. If you're collecting it before it flowers, make sure that you're sure that it's Herb Robert, because there's a few members of the parsley family that are actually quite toxic, so you don't want to get mistaken. But the flower is very different from the parsley family, this little pink flower, and it often grows in big clumps, but this has just made its home in a pot, and you can see it's got red stems. That's another identifying feature. And Herb Robert, surprisingly, when I was doing my research, is something of a panacea. It can be used for absolutely all sorts. It's edible. It contains vitamins A, B and C. It contains calcium, potassium, magnesium, iron, phosphorus and germanium. It supports the immune system. It's even been used to treat cancer. It oxygenates the blood cells, which is why it's supposedly good for treating cancer. It can treat chronic fatigue. It can treat diabetes, shingles, bruises, rheumatism. You can eat it, so you can use it as an eye wash, you can use it as a gargle. It's antibiotic. It's an adaptogen, which means it actually helps your blood, your body even, to change, to be able to be more resilient and fight disease better. It's good for the digestion. It's a diuretic, it's a sedative, it's an antioxidant. So all round wonder herb, I think, and it grows all over the place. You can find this like everywhere, really, in gardens, in allotments, on waste ground, in fields, under hedges, absolutely all over the place. So I will definitely be making use of that one. Okay, I'm sure you'll recognise this one. This is nettles, and nettles grows all over the place. It's a wild edible that you can usually find wherever you are. It's one of the staples that's usually available, although this time of year, springtime, is a good time for nettles. The young tops are particularly good to eat. They're very nutritious. Contains vitamin C, contains lots of B vitamins and vitamin K. It's very cleansing. It's a diuretic. It's good for your skin. It's been used to treat arthritis, and I was reading that there's been clinical trials that actually support the use of nettles in arthritis. It's an analgesic, it's an antihistamine, so it can be used to treat allergies, particularly allergic rhinitis. It's antimicrobial and it's an antioxidant. So all round good herb. You can also use it to make cottage with the stems, and you can use the seeds as well. You can eat the seeds. So brilliant. But this is the best time for the leaves, and I'm sure there's lots of nettle recipes that you can find online, so perhaps you'd like to share some in the comments if you've had a go at making things with nettles. This is Cleavers, also known as sticky weed, because if you like throw it at something it tends to stick. It's got quite a sticky texture, and that's edible, although the texture's not great, so probably better cooked rather than eaten raw. And that's a good cleanser. It's good for skin conditions as well, and it's a diuretic, so you can make a tea with it, you can make skincare products with it, or you can eat it. So another little valuable weed, or volunteer gift from nature, I think we should call it. You can as well apparently use the seeds as coffee substitute, so you just roast them and ground them just as you would with coffee, and apparently taste very similar, although I've never tried it. I don't actually like coffee, so I'm not inspired to give it a go, but maybe somebody out there has given it a go, and let me know how you got on. Did it work? And another thing, apparently cleavers have a red dye from their roots, although I'm not quite sure how, because the roots are tiny. Let's just pull one up. And the roots are actually quite difficult to get up because they stick, but they're very shallow. So look at that, it's just a tiny little root. Can you see it? Yeah, but apparently it does give a red dye. Never tried it. I suppose you'd need quite a lot. Maybe I'll give it a go one day and report back. Okay, I think I'll leave it there for today, and I'll be back soon. Bye.